What's up, everyone? You don't know it's with us well here with another video. Boy, the national championships was an exciting one. Stellar performances from the athletes and some surprises. Some surprise performances took place. When we look at Gary Card running 9.93 behind Oblique Seville, that's a beautiful run. It was there. We all saw it coming, but me personally, I didn't want him to run 9 seconds too early. We expected it at the pen relays. However, we didn't get it at the pen relays, and I was happy because I didn't want him to run 9 seconds at pen relays. Because there's just something about young athletes running 9 seconds early. It takes a toll on their body. 9 seconds in a 100 meter for a young athlete takes a lot of hard work, a lot of training, and recovery is very, very important when you run 9 seconds for the first time. So that is why I personally did not want to see Gary Card run 9 seconds too early, right? So when I saw that he ran it at the national championships, I was saying, yes, that was the right time for him to run it. Because he's been training as a senior, and he has been developing under Stephen Francis program. So I was happy to see him, run it at this time, at this point in his career. I didn't want to see him run it in high school. Everyone was looking out for 9 seconds in high school. I didn't want to see him do that. And, he ran 10.2 to win the 100 meter final in high school, when he ran like 10-0 something in the semi-final. So I didn't want to see him run 9 seconds after running 10.0 in the semi-final while he was in high school. As a matter of fact, the 10.0 in the semi-final, was pressuring on his body because he came back in the final and he pulled up before the finish line, even though he still won. So I'm just happy that he did not run that 9 seconds while he was in high school. We all see what is happening right now with Boaji Nkrumah. He's taking a while to transition to the professional leagues. He hasn't run below 9.99 seconds. He hasn't run 9.99 seconds since high school. He has been running like 10-0 and 10-1s consistently. So we see what happened when you run 9 whatever seconds in high school. So I didn't want to see that happen with Gary Card. Mind you, there are two different athletes with two totally different body types and two different techniques when running. I believe Gary Card technique is really good. It's just sometimes he kind of lean backs. That's crazy. He kind of leans back a little bit too much. So that's the only problem I have with Gary Card technique. But overall, he runs pretty well technically. He kind of runs like what's his name? Kenny Bednarek. Kenny Bednarek technique is really good. Gary Card kind of run that way too, so it's a good look from him, and it was a beautiful performance by him. Now on to the big dog, Oblique Seville, running a world lead in that 100 meters. Really good. People were, saying a bunch of crap when he ran against what's his name again, Trayvon and Degrassi. People had a lot to say, but what people don't know also is that when it comes to traveling, Oblique Seville is not so good at traveling overseas to run. So with him, you have to give him time when he travels, maybe a few days until the event, for him to adjust and for him to for his body to get rid of that jet lag feeling, So he came in Jamaica, ran 9.8 world lead. Beautiful performance. So all the doubters can shut up now, stop talking, because I don't know if they think everyone will have a perfect race every time they run. But what I also notice about Oblique Seville's running it's not the speed, it's the technique. Oblique Seville's technique is completely different from last year. He's running more upright. His knees are coming up higher. He's extending more. He looks better technically. Oblique Seville's technique, it looks so different from last year, right? He looks more explosive, and he looks a bit heavier when it comes to his muscular development. So I can see that he's lifting more in the gym based on how his body looks. So Oblique Seville looks stronger this year. Stronger, bigger, faster, and his technique is way more different from what it was last season. So I'm really happy about that, because technically last year he was good, it wasn't bad, but technically a lot of his technique needed to be fixed, and he has done so. This year he's really working on it. You can see his knees are still lifting at the end of the race. That to me shows strength. That to me shows that he has gotten really stronger, right? His hips, his back, his glutes, he looks more powerful. So that's a good run from Oblique Seville technically, right? We already know that he's a fast athlete. So with that said, moving on to the ladies. My takeaway from the ladies, I expected that from Shericka Jackson. Tina, I also expected that from Tina. It's not a surprise performance for me, for those two, because it was expected. It was Shericka's first 100 meter for the season. She opened a 100 meter season at the national championships, but the way she ran that 200 meter, or she flew off the curve, I knew that it was going to be easy for her to open with a fast time in the 100 meter, and she did just that. Very relaxed run from her. But my main takeaway from that 100 meter is none other than Jonielle Smith. Jonielle Smith has been consistent this year. Was one of her most healthiest season. Usually she would be injured at the national trials, but now she's running, and she's running faster and faster. This is a good PB for her, 10.94, and I really do hope that the sponsors see this and give her a chance, because she definitely deserves it. She's a 10-9 athlete now because she has been running it consistently. It's not like a one-off run and then she run a bunch of 11-0 after. She's been consistently running 10.9 and she's improving slowly but surely, and for her to finish in that third place spot, it really shows, she's ready and she's coming on really, really good. So that's one of my main takeaway from the women. Beautiful running from Jonielle Smith. Now, there are some negatives that I want to highlight. Akeem Blake, I don't understand. I think there is something off with his programming, because Akeem Blake does not run fast later on in the season. Akeem Blake run fast early in the season, and then later on down, he's just getting slower and slower. Based on that race, yes, Gary Card is running good and we are proud of him. But Akeem Blake, Gary Card should not have beaten Akeem Blake right there, because Akeem Blake is a seasoned athlete in this thing with experience and with times. So I don't understand how Akeem Blake I don't know, guys. Something is off with the programming, because even Levania ran 10-8 this season. So for her to just go to the trials and run like that, it's also another shocker. Those two athletes, and they are from the same camp. So I'm not sure what is going on with those two athletes, if they are not managing the program well, or if it is that the coaches aren't coaching them to run fast at this time. Maybe they are coaching them to run fast at the Ultimate Championship. Maybe that's the case. But something is up. I don't know what's going on. But Akeem Blake, I think Akeem Blake should be one of the top dogs right now. You know what I mean? I really don't think that Akeem Blake should be looking this inexperienced. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm worried about. What's going on with Akeem Blake? That's I keep wondering what is going on. But that's it for me for the national championships. Those are my takeaways. Those are my views. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Witter's World. I'm out.